Hey YouTube, POD7 here with another issue of Comic Book Haul. Let's get right to it with Mass Effect, issue number 7. Finally picked up just the tiniest bit in this issue with Jack showing up, and unfortunately Kai Lang is still showing up. I don't think I've read anything where he was actually a decent, like, fun. For me, he hasn't even been fun to hate, except for in the game. That's about it. All the comics, all the novels, he's just been there. It's like, why couldn't they have brought somebody else in? I don't know. But that leads into issue number 8, where we see Thane for the first time in this series of comic books, and this was a good Mass Effect comic book. I mean, it finally started following one of their own, the agent you see there that Thane is taking out. I forget her name, because I have pretty much I had lost all hope in this series, so I don't even remember her name anymore. But finally she gets like her own thing to do by herself, and Thane takes her out, basically. So, yeah, just a great issue, and the art is starting very slowly to get a little bit better. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I was just being blinded by the fact that the storytelling was actually good for once. I don't know. Moving on to Cape books, we have All-Star Western featuring Jonah Hex, number 27, and he meets Superman, and they have a big old conversation about what a hero really is. And Jonah Hex gives Superman the old argument about, if you're basically God on Earth, then why aren't you feeding all the starving and sheltering all the poor and all this, instead of going after these guys with big guns? Just let other guys with big guns shoot them and stuff like that. So pretty interesting, kind of boring, but I definitely prefer it over the next issue, which you will see here, issue 28. Jonah got in a motorcycle accident at the end of the last book, and when the paramedics picked him up, they thought his scars on his face were part of the accident, and so they gave him plastic surgery. And I swear to God, if they do this and keep it, I'm dropping this book, because this is just, that's like his defining characteristic is his face. I mean, he's the ugliest cowboy you ever seen, and he has like the worst luck of any cowboy ever. So if you take that away, it's just, if you take one of those away, then it's just sad, you know? So I think they're going to work towards giving them the scar back, but we'll see. Now we have World's Finest Huntress Power Girl Annual number 1. This takes place back on Earth 2 before the New Gods killed everybody, or whatever happened. When Superman and Batman sacrificed themselves, I guess. I don't know, I'm not up on my New 52 Earth 2 lore. Basically, they end up fighting Wonder Woman's daughter. I forget what her name is. I think it's Revenge or something, you know, completely infantile, you know, for a supervillain name. But, you know, whatever. It's superheroes comics. So, there's a guy named Mr. Freeze, for God's sake, so. And then, finally, World's Finest Huntress Power Girl, issue 19, Huntress meets Batman, is marketed on the bottom, as you'll see here in a second. You get through the whole book, and, well, first of all, you see up there it says First Contact Prelude. That's part of a mini event between about the New Gods coming to the New 52 Earth, and basically that's how they're bringing together Huntress, Power Girl, Superman, and Batman. And it doesn't even say continued in, you know, Batman and Superman, whatever. It just says continued, to be continued at the end of it. So I missed It says here, finally, Huntress meets Batman. At the end of this issue, she's breaking into the Batcave, and he catches her in a ridiculous laser cage, basically, and that's it. And in the next issue of World's Finest, it doesn't continue from there. It continued in Batman and Superman, or Batman, or, you know, some other issue that they didn't even tell me to pick up. So I'm not going to pick it up. I mean, there's so many events going on right now, you can't keep... It's like, Forever Evil is still going on, Trinity War is kind of still going on, but only in 2 comics, basically, and then there's Prelude, and Gothtopia is going on right now over a bunch of the Bat Family books, so that's like 4 events, and there's probably 2 or 3 I don't even know about, so it's stupid. The way comic books have become so ridiculously complicated these days. Here's the next issue of World's Finest with Batman and Power Girl on the cover, and somehow Superman lost his powers while Power Girl got hers back, and Huntress helps Superman into some kind of alien city where they're going to get his powers back, and the controller of the alien city wants to clone Power Girl and make her his wife or something. It's stupid. I'm very close to dropping this book as well. So, Batman Black and White #5. I did not know this was going to be a limited series. I thought this was going to keep going. This is a 6-issue series, and I am so bummed. It's just madness that they made this a 6-issue. It's something so special. It's something people are willing to pay, you know, $6 or $7 for every month. But oh well. I don't even remember what stories are in #5. I didn't take any pictures of any of the stories inside, so I'm sorry about that. I think Darwin Cook had a story in it. He's a huge name in the Batman world right now. Here is issue 6, the last issue. Had some pretty good stories. There was a author-artist, Becky Cloonan. Her story is fantastic. In this issue, it's about a woman who dates Bruce Wayne and is basically left alone in the Wayne Manor in the morning when she wakes up. And, you know, Alfred asks her if he can get a car for her and whatnot, and then she goes on to have lunch with all her friends that introduced her to Bruce, and they all trade their stories about how he always left in the middle of the night and stuff like that. And it's just really it's that kind of thing where Batman is so overexposed now that literally anybody attached to him is more interesting somehow. And so this is kind of a look into the women that Bruce Wayne dates, and somehow I'm like, wow, I would totally read like 4 or 5 issues of that. So props to you, Becky Cloonan. The art is fantastic. It's kind of retro, but at the same time it feels perfectly fine, right next to modern stuff, even stylistic stuff like Walking Dead and the previous team of Batwoman. It's stylized, but it's also not. It's normal, retro, stylized, modern, all at the same time. So, next up, Catwoman, Gothtopia tie-in. She's Catbird there on the cover. Spoiler alert. Basically, this is some kind of team up with Scarecrow and a bunch of other people. They didn't tell Poison Ivy for whatever reason, but convenient plot point there. But basically, the heroes of Gotham, at least near to Batman, have all been toxined, and they think they're in a utopia kind of place. And Catwoman's having the hardest time denying that this new reality is the real world, as opposed to all the reminders that this is a dream or this is a facade. So, Batwoman 27. Gosh, I really want to like this new team. The dialogue isn't too Whedon-esque, as I was lamenting when they first announced it. That kind of dialogue worked for Manhunter because she was a lawyer and it took place in LA, and Kate Kane is just not either of those things, LA or a lawyer or a single mother for that matter. So the end of this book was very strange. She's got a poison in her system from the wolf spider, shot her with darts. And here you see a little girl. This is Maggie Sawyer's daughter. As you see, Maggie is back there in the background. So Kate's girlfriend's daughter. They're just walking into the bathroom. As you can see, she's pretty tired. You know, mother behind her, whatever. And Kate has she had been fighting the wolf spider. Betty, her cousin, aka Flamehawk, or whatever she's going by now, is MIA somehow. I forget what happened to her even. She's just kind of thrown by the wayside in that issue, but so Kate Kane is stumbling around, and you know, obviously under the effects of the toxins, and she stumbles through a window and starts cleaning herself up because she happened to land in a bathroom. She doesn't want anybody to know she's Batwoman, so she takes off the costume and everything. As you can see, there's a scream there, and I took all these pictures because I just wanted to show this as an example of the quality of art that has come down so far from what the previous team was presenting, and it just really bothered me that the speech bubble there, the length of how many A's are there, and then they attach it to Maggie's daughter's face, where she looks like she's in mid-yawn. I mean, does that look like someone who's screaming at the top of their lungs, as the speech bubble implies? No. Not in my opinion, anyway, so I'm going to get a drink, so I'm going to... I'll just let this keep going. I wanted to do an extra long video this time to make up for not making a video for 2 months, so... Plus I have some Planet Comic-Con stuff to cover, I guess. I don't know. I just feel bad for not making a video in the last 2 months, so extra long video this time. Batwoman 28 picked up a little bit. Kate has kind of a walk of shame moment where she goes into Gotham City PD looking for Maggie to talk about basically breaking into her bathroom and trying to clean herself up. And she meets the daughter there again, and they kind of have their first dialogue together, and then Maggie eventually says that she wants Kate to see a shrink because of all the stuff that's been accumulating and happening to her over the last couple of years, and that's pretty much all that happened that issue. So alright, here we go. Planet Comic-Con Hall mini issue inside. This is a print. Penciling was done by, or line art, whatever you want to call it, was done by Mark Texiera. And oh god, I forgot his name. The colors were done by Jeff Balke, I want to say. He was a really nice guy. Met him. He was there signing stuff and drawing stuff, so, and coloring stuff. I guess he's kind of a big name in Gremlins comics, it seemed like. There was a lot of Gremlins stuff around him, so I hadn't really heard his name before, but he does some pretty good work, as you can see. And this print is massive, like 27 inches tall, I think. So, and the next three, wow! I got to meet the legendary Neal Adams. He's credited with bringing Batman back around from being a complete joke after the Batman TV show and back to a more serious, not necessarily dark like Frank Miller got him, but back into being more of a serious character. And I bought 3 of his prints, actually. Probably shouldn't have spent that much money, but I couldn't turn these down. They were just... He was selling them 3 for $50. So when you see them, I think you'll agree it was a good buy. Especially since he signed all 3 of them free of charge. I only had the Batgirl one dedicated to me because it felt kind of weird asking him to dedicate all 3 to the same person, to me specifically. So I only had the Batgirl one signed to me because that was my favorite one. I think he actually had the original, like the actual art piece, not the prints and stuff, but like the original there for sale, but he was asking like $2,500 for original sketches, and not that he doesn't deserve that, but I don't think the average convention goer, especially around Kansas City, is going to be bringing, you know, $3,000 to spend on one thing. So I didn't bring it up. Oddly enough, I really like this Wonder Woman because it's kind of in a muted color scale. I almost said grayscale, but obviously it's not black and white or anything, so just kind of a more classic Wonder Woman look that I really like. For those, for more Neal Adams stuff, he was also the artist and I think the writer behind the famous or infamous, whatever you want to call it, issue of Green Lantern and Green Arrow where they find out Junkie is doing Speedy, where they find out Speedy is a junkie. That's what I was going for. And they actually had prints of that cover there, but I thought that was kind of, if I wanted him to sign that, I would actually try to find the actual comic and have him sign it. So, and this was actually the most complicated looking just standalone print that was there, strangely enough. And she's saying POW superhero fan, like singing it. I don't know if that's a reference or something, but I just like Black Canary, so picked it up. If they had Huntress there, I probably would have got that over Wonder Woman, just to have a Birds of Prey theme going on my wall. But anyway, definitely it was super awesome meeting him, and yeah. When I walked away from the table, I heard him say, "Well, that was a nice young man," and that really, wow, I could have walked 1,000 miles after that. So anyway, into some Batwoman quest stuff. We've got Detective Comics number 28. She shows up again, still a part of the Gothtopia story, whatever you want to call it. And this time she's not in the Gold Bat or Day Bat costume. I can't remember what they call her. They only said her name once in the first time she showed up, so I don't know. There she is. This is the big reveal of, oh, Scarecrow's behind everything. And funnily enough, they all have Scarecrow masks on. So that might not even be Batwoman. That could be anybody in a Batwoman costume with a Scarecrow hood on. Yeah, this picture is just kind of silly to me. Because Talon basically looks like son of Scarecrow or something. You know, like the beefed up son who's gonna beat up Batman because his dad was a villain or something crazy like that. What's next? Oh, another Catwoman, I believe. Maybe. This is kind of tricky because Batwoman shows up in this, but I also collect Catwoman currently. But if I wanted to drop Catwoman, this would be an excellent point to stop because Batwoman shows up in this comic, and I could just put this right into the back of my Batwoman collection and never have to worry about paying for Catwoman ever again. Especially if they go 4 or 5 issues in a row, introducing a new villain every time. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Catwoman, it was really good at the start, and then it was just like, well, let's just throw her into every single story we've got going on right now. Between Gothopia and Justice League America, which is supposedly going to be Justice League Canada at some point, and I don't know if she's going to stay around for that. I don't know. This is probably the best shot to date of that costume from Gothopia for Batwoman. But as you can see, once again, someone forgot the memo that the long red hair is part of the mask. It's not actually her real hair, and you can see her forehead there. Unless that's part of the mask. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, she kind of starts to beat up Catwoman at this point, but I figured this was a good enough shot of her, so... next up, some older, quote-unquote, stuff. Let's see. I was very fortunate to hang out with my friends, my online friends from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Slip, we'll call him on here. Part of the New Legacy crew. I've known him for, holy cow, like 6 or 7 years now online, and we've met 3 times in person now, and he happened to go to Wizards World or something in Tulsa, and he told me to send the list of all the Batwoman stuff I'm missing, and I'm like, okay, and he picked up 4 books for me, holy cow. So this is Final Crisis issue 4, the main Final Crisis series, as you can see here, still appearing as a one of Wonder Woman's Furies. That's pretty much the best picture of her in this issue. And you're going to see here in a moment, quite like the episode probably 2 or 3 issues ago of Comic Book Haul when I had Animal Man 17 or 18, I think it was 18, and I said, here's what Madness looks like, and I showed the tiniest little picture of her that I had looked over 5 times looking for her in there, and you're going to see another example of that coming up. But basically, all of her Final Crisis appearances are going to be getting beat up as a Fury, basically. Here she is getting thrown off her Warhound. I don't remember what exactly was going on. Oh, they were confronting Barry and Wally, 2 Flashes. And they were moving so fast that they couldn't see him, or something like that, so... man, I haven't talked this long in a long time. As you can probably tell, my voice is starting to give out. I don't talk very much in real life. Slip could definitely back me up on that. I was trying to think of what the word was for that. Yeah. So this is Final Crisis 7 of 7, when all the worlds converge and stop what's going on in Final Crisis. Basically, every Superman from every alternate universe showed up at once and beat up somebody or something. Which includes everybody from Nazi Superman to Tangent Universe Superman to, let's see, Captain Carrot, I believe his name is, from the Just Us Pals, which is an all-animal universe, by the way. And And then Ultraman showed up, but he was like a villain somehow. Like he was helping the guy. I don't remember. But it was pretty crazy. And here's a picture of Batwoman. This is Batwoman's appearance. She's right there, kind of on the left side of the picture, just under the box of text. And that is literally the only picture I could find of her in this issue. But someone somewhere is just as crazy as I am, if not more crazy, and has an eagle eye for Batwoman, and included that as an appearance of Batwoman on a comic line. So they were eagle-eyed enough to find it and post about it, and so I will go out and pick it up. But only because it's not a reprint or, you know, a collection. Because, oh, that's a whole nother issue for a whole nother video. So, next up we have Batman, Battle for the Cowl? Yeah, Battle for the Cowl. Number 1. She's actually on the cover, so I don't have to take a picture of the inside. This was after Bruce Wayne died. Giant quotation fingers. And there was a vacuum supposedly left, even though there's like 12 heroes in Gotham. Batman is equal to all of them and more, so someone had to replace him, and I think this is a 3-issue miniseries, something like that. Let's see, I'm missing another one. Well, oh well. I'm missing one more from Battle for the Cowl, but I'm so close. I'm so close to being caught up, and this is a definite victory. Thanks so much, Slip, for picking this up. This is the last Detective Comics issue that I needed to complete that first run for Batwoman. The stories, the 2 stories that got me into the character in the first place, and this was the last one, so it's definitely got a special place in my heart and mind. So thank you very much, Slip, for the assist. Didn't get to meet Greg Rucka at Planet Comic Con like I wanted to, but I figured he'll probably be around next year, hopefully. So anyway, I think I added up, I'm down to 16 issues left to get until I'm caught up with every appearance of the modern Batwoman, aka Kate Kane. I'm so close, man. I'm so close. I will go ahead and leave a list of what I need here in this space, and yeah, thanks for watching. It's POD7, I'm signing out.